Do you think there's anything wrong with your mind, really? I got a damn horrible modern science. I'm here to cooperate with you 100%.
I just watched the clip in Troy of Brad Pitt, the spear fight scene. And dude, it is so. Have you ever seen it, Ren?
No, I never saw it. It didn't really appeal to me, but now we have a reason. So,
dude, I'm telling you, like, it's the hottest Brad Pitt has ever been. Period. The end. I'll put that out there. And it's just it's a really good movie from what I remember. I'd be hyped to watch that one.
Really, I'm actually surprised you say that. I thought he was pretty hot in 12 Monkeys.
Hey, whoa! I mean, look, we all like a different kind of crazy, Scott, and at least we know what you go for.
You're into that lazy eye look.
Yeah, and the peeking cheeks.
That's what it is.
I know it was the butt. It was the butt cheeks. Just come on, just say it, dude. Come on.
As soon as those pants dropped.
All right, I did watch a movie I wanted to talk to you guys about. But
let's do it.
It's not a movie that's new to any of us. But I gotta say, watching it this time around was way more rewarding. The older you get, like when you're revisiting like these, like when we watch Fox and the Hound, you kind of see like some of the familiar faces. You're like, Amos Slade is voiced by the dad who for some reason can't walk. And then when they win the golden ticket, he can walk. The grandpa. Yes. So we were watching, my boys turned on Robin Hood, the original Disney. And it's got Peter Ustinov as Prince John, or the prince, whatever his name is. And then I was just kind of like going into all the other voices. And then I couldn't not see the Don Bluth in all of it because this is like 10 years prior to the mutiny that we all talked about on that episode. But yeah, it was like seeing the movie for the first time. And it was really cool. And we enjoyed that the other night. It was pretty fun.
I think Robin Hood has the number one scene for me that made me as a child go, God, this scene. Can we just fast forward, Mom? Like just the whole scene of Robin Hood and Maid Marian, like, the slow, like they're walking near the lake or whatever, and it's all lovey-dovey. And I just remember as a kid being like, this is so stupid. Like, why?
Dude,
why'd they ruin this movie?
No lie. Knox fast forwarded that part. So you're not the first and you're not the last. Yeah. And then he like kept going. I was like, whoa, stop. I was like, you're going too far. But he was like, nope, sorry. It was funny.
I don't care, man. None of this crap.
Way too romantic.
So awesome. Go
so
Knox.
This is love.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what's that from?
Cinderella.
This is love. Is it Cinderella? I do like that song, actually.
Is that funny that also when you get older, like love scenes, you're like, hey, that's really sweet. I kind of want to watch that again.
Yes.
I was looking at Spartacus, just video clips online, and I found it was just a collection of all the love scenes between Kirk Douglas and whatever the other lady's name is.
Yep.
Low-key, the most underrated part of the movie are the love scenes. And like all these other people were like, dude, I know. Like, I love that movie because of those. I don't even care about the battle scenes. I was like, all right, I feel heard.
No, I'm actually with you. I was making some shorts for Spartacus, which I am going to finish today. I had some technical difficulties yesterday, which was frustrating. Yeah. But no, I was clipping a bunch of scenes with them. And the scene where he goes and she's swimming in the lake and then he picks her up and they're laughing and she tells him she's pregnant.
The best.
I'm just watching them like, she's so happy in such a in such a crazy situation. There's this like moment of peace in the film. And you're just like, wow, they actually like really love each other. I like this.
Also, I think that movie should get credit for the first upside down kiss, not Spider-Man. Do you know what I'm talking about? She's like laying down. And he just like starts eating her face like upside down.
You're right. Okay, I remember it now.
What a ham.
Well, hey, before we jump in to our episode, I have a couple of this or that's for movies if you guys want to do another round. Scott, hit the theme music.
This or that. This or that.
This or that, what could it be?
Or that, ding-a-ding-ding, this or that, what do we see?
All right, just in case we have any new listeners, just simply I'm going to put up two movies. I'm just going to ask the guys which one is better, and we get to explain why one's better than the other one. It's pretty straightforward.
Hey, after this one though, I think we need to expand a little bit. So let's do like scenes or like you said, deaths and stuff like that.
No, I sat down and I'm cooking through all the movies we've done, and I'm listing out the deaths, and holy crap, there's a lot of deaths. There's a bunch that I wrote down. I'm like, I could probably get rid of those because those weren't impactful at all anyways. All right, let's start with two animated films. Let's go with An American Tail or The Fox and the Hound.
I think I'll probably have to go with Fox and the Hound. I think it's a better told story, even though I think American Tail is a deeper story.
Right when you said Fox and the Hound, I was like, it's definitely Fox and the Hound. But I'm still pissed that Chief didn't die, man. That's
I literally was about to ask you that, Ren. I was like, even though Chief doesn't die in it, probably the greatest sin of that movie.
I did start on making an edit of that movie where Chief was killed, and I was going to edit him out of the later scenes and stuff like that.
Well, and you just have to do a freeze frame when it shows Chief's eyes. Just don't let it get to the blinking part because he's dead.
Man, I was going to pull some serious like drawing on the frames edits to make it work. I was going to do it right.
I laid it on Fox and the Hound as well. I think it's just more enjoyable. I think it's better looking. I think it's more focused. An American Tail is important for what it was, but it just meanders way too much for me to call it a really, really good movie.
It does meander.
Yeah. Well, there's just so many, there's so many side characters. You're like, okay, wait, do I have to care about them?
The answer is no. There's not a lot of characters you need to care about in that movie.
It's true. Okay, let's go to the next one. American Werewolf in London, Alien.
Freak, man.
That's a hard one.
It.
I literally thought it would be easy when I wrote it down, and I just kept thinking about it, and I was just like, God, I don't know. I feel like it's the wrong answer no matter what you pick.
I feel like these are equivalent with each other in their importance and their presentation for two completely different audiences.
Yeah.
They're only 1 year apart too. So in my head, I was like, well, without Alien, but they're probably in production like around the same time. Who knows?
Right. I'll tell you, my gut, and this is just for me, I think I enjoyed American Werewolf in London just a little bit more than Alien. And I think it's tough even to say that, but that's my gut. Like if I had to pick between those two, I think I would reach for An American Werewolf in London first.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's more fun. I think it's more fun. So maybe you kind of be drawn to it more often. But dude, I freaking love both those movies.
I want to agree with you. And I also just was like, but then I would also reach for Alien first too. I would reach for both first at the same time.
Yeah.
I think American Werewolf is more fun to watch. I think I am going to say Alien is better. Is it a better movie?
That's not wrong.
Alien's definitely deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I'm thinking like
deeper.
rewatchability. Alien might be my choice.
And they both have some really good. They have incredible practical effects in both of them.
And Harry Dean Stanton is an Alien. Yeah, Alien for me.
You're gonna go with that one. Okay. I think I'm gonna go.
I think I'm gonna go Alien.
I'm gonna stick with American Werewolf in London for myself. Both equivalent. We've all agreed on that. But I found American Werewolf just easier and more fun to watch.
I want us to watch Alien Covenant because it kind of rights some wrongs that are in Prometheus, and it actually is really cool because it kind of connects the two stories. You guys might not be excited about it, but I'm telling you, Covenant is better than Prometheus.
I've only heard good about Covenant, so
yeah.
I don't want to believe people because Alien is so good and Prometheus is so bad.
There's so many Prometheus like apologists like on like film forums and stuff. They're just like, it's actually pretty good. I'm like, yeah, but
I guess
it's also kind of not.
It's also okay to be objectively wrong about things.
Okay, let's go with Tremors or Jungle Book, the 1994 version. That's another tough one. I mean,
I want to say Tremors, but like Jungle Book is an underrated movie. I feel like that movie is really good.
You know, I might also go on a limb and say that Tremors might be overrated which is not to
Ooh.
say that it is not incredible for everything that it is. And so
I like this.
I think I might go with Jungle Book also, even though I like Tremors more. Like it's kind of the same thing. Like I would reach for Tremors before Jungle Book, but Jungle Book is like really good.
Yeah,
It's deeper.
And nobody knows about it. And that's sad to me.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. It's sad. A lot of people don't know about that movie, and I think it deserves. I think it deserves people. People need to watch it. I'm gonna go with Jungle Book, and it's mainly because I think the deaths in Jungle Book are way more impactful and way better than Tremors.
Yeah.
Like Tremors has got some
Good.
cool ones, but Jungle Book, woo, man.
I might have to disagree with you. The deaths are incredible in Tremors.
Oh, come on, Wilkins.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say we need to mention to everyone this is the 1994 live action
Yes.
Jungle Book. Just to, yeah, in case anyone doesn't know that. And by the way, if anyone wants to go back into the vault, you can hear the whole episodes on us talking about all these films that you've brought up in this or that questionnaire.
Hey, Harrison, why don't you do like a boring one where it's like super obvious instead of like these, hey, I actually paired these because it might generate discussion and something interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, I actually had a plan to like, okay, we're gonna rate every single movie against every single movie. And I was like, Harrison, ridiculous. Why would you do that? And so originally I had like a little, like a sort of a pattern I was going with, and then I kept getting movies where I'm like, okay, Clue or 1917. I'm like, that's stupid. Like, it's like, come on, like it's 1917.
I won't waste my breath. Yeah.
So I curated it a little better.
Or you're the only one. Actually, that's not a bad question. You guys, one of you two might actually pick Clue over 1917. Who knows?
I don't know.
Gosh.
1917 is basically a giant nothing burger. I'll be the one to say.
For sure.
Oh gosh. I try not to get angry at people's opinions on movies, but that's a bad take.
Please go back and listen to the episode of 1917 to see if I'm being honest, okay?
Yeah.
There you go. Just real quick, going back to Jungle Book, honestly, the first thing I think of when it comes to that movie is the deaths. And I'm just like, man, you got Wilkins getting eaten by the tiger. And that's kind of like this weird, like complicated emotional moment because he's such a reluctant villain. You're just like, oh, dude, I feel kind of bad for you. And then the drowning in the quicksand, getting buried alive in the sand. Lots of different types of deaths. It's pretty impressive.
I am not a man.
Okay, how
I
about
am
this
not
one?
an animal.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or 12 Monkeys.
Well, definitely One Flew Over a Cuckoo's
Yeah.
Nest.
Same.
Yeah.
The more distance I have with 12 Monkeys, the more disenchanted I feel about it.
You
Yeah.
know, weirdly, same here. And
Yeah.
it's, once
I'm
again, it's
with you
not
on that.
because I disliked 12 Monkeys. I just, man, like just a purely plot-driven, weird story.
You could say it's not very slimy then. But yeah, I'm still piecing it together, I think. Except I think I get it more than I realize, but then I'm like, well, how come I don't like it?
I think part of the reason that weird movies like that get usually higher ratings is because I've mentioned a lot of times that when we watch films, sometimes there's moments that make you go, oh, like the people making this movie are really passionate and they're doing it with a lot of purpose. And so sometimes when you watch kind of a weird movie like 12 Monkeys, you're kind of watching, you're like, okay, they didn't just like make this on a whim. Like it wasn't like, oh gosh, we have to, do this movie to keep the rights to this character. No, it's like someone actually put forth a lot of effort into this. And I want to figure out like, why did they make this movie? Because obviously there's a purpose. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
That's kind of like today's movie. I like squint my eyes at this movie and I go, but why this story? Why did you spend time and effort and money on this story?
Oh, well, we'll get to that because that's going to be my last question. One just slight note before you jump in the next one. Ren, you were talking about how the more distance you have away from 12 Monkeys, the less you like it. And I realized when I was looking through our list of movies, for some reason, Return to Oz is a movie. I'm like, the more distance I have from this, the more I like it, actually. Like whenever I'm like trying to stick movies together, I'm like, okay, how about split Return to Oz with like one of the bad movies we watched? And I'm like, no, that's better. Return to Oz. I'm like, wow, it's getting higher and higher in my rankings. This is weird.
So do you feel
And,
like
like-
does Paris, Texas get better and better with the farther distance you have from it?
No.
All right, cool.
Paris, Texas has stayed exactly the same for me.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
look, Paris, Texas hasn't moved that much. It might have went down a little for me, to be honest, but
Yeah.
it's not significant enough to be like, yeah, I got way worse. It's like, no, it dropped a little bit more, but
You
Not
guys want to
significant.
know the two movies that have gotten higher on my ranking?
yes.
The Northman, that's gotten higher. I think about that movie all the time and very fondly.
Same.
And Detroit Rock City.
yes. I finally have gotten you to admit that you love
I
that
feel like-
movie.
I still never want to see it again, but my memories of it and talking about it and being challenged about it, I'm like, actually, it's pretty good for what it's supposed to be. And I don't know, more fond memories than unfond.
You,
Harrison, I feel like you
you
called that.
It's the truth because Scott, you just kept bringing it up, and I was just like, "This is in his head. I know it's in his head
Super
all the
slimy.
time."
Haunting.
Love
The
it.
most slimy, the slimiest of slimes.
Last one, and I wonder if you guys can guess the movie I'm going to compare this to. So we have The Returning, which is the movie we're talking about. What do you think the other movie I'm going to compare it to is?
Prometheus?
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep. That's right.
Nice.
I enjoyed
If
Bubba
you hold on,
Hotep
wait,
more.
let me interrupt you. If you say The Returning, you're lying.
I enjoyed Bubba Hotep more.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I can honestly say this, and Ren, you can call me a liar, but I think I actually enjoyed The Returning more than Bubba Hotep. Like Bubba
That's
Hotep.
awesome.
The more I think
That's awesome.
the more distance I get away from Bubba Hotep, I'm like, I really did not like that movie. That was not fun. That was
Since we brought it up, I just want to call out my favorite scene in Bubba Hotep. It's still hilarious. I'll think about it from time to time. But when Ossie Davis does his slow roll away, like into the shadows, that part is so awesome. Slowly rolling in his wheelchair.
I love the scene when Elvis goes to JFK's bedroom and they start like acting like 10-year-old boys planning to go out in the middle of the night to like, I don't know, do something with BB guns or whatever, you know? And then he's like, wait, you want a candy bar? And
Oh
like,
yeah.
this is the most like little boy dude as old men scene in existence. And it's pretty great. It's adorable.
Hey, everybody, just popping in real quick. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, that would really help us out a lot. But either way, let's get back to the show.
So normally I would just play like the trailer, which I love doing, but this movie doesn't really have one, so I can't do that. So what I'm gonna do is I have a spooky synopsis of the film. I'm gonna read to you guys, okay? After a family trip to the Mojave Desert, John and Sybil return to their home, which has some distinctive Salt Lake City area flair, carrying a mysterious stone they found at an ancient Indian burial ground. Soon, their teenage son becomes the target of terrifying, inexplicable phenomena as the stone acts as a conduit for vengeful spirits. The film blends suburban dread with Native American mysticism, spiraling into a desperate struggle to break a curse before the returning spirits claim the boy's soul. Today we're talking about The Returning from 1983, directed by Joel Bender, an 80s regional horror film. I thought that was kind of funny.
regional.
Because that's about as far as like its reach got, was just regional in Salt Lake probably. No one else saw it outside of that.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate you giving us that synopsis because now I know what happened in the film.
Yeah, I needed this too. I needed that. So this is a very interesting film that we're covering because if you're listening to this, you probably haven't seen the movie The Returning. So what we're going to do is actually include a link in the video description so anyone can watch it for free.
So I actually didn't learn that this movie existed until about maybe 3 years ago. And I was just egging my dad on for stories about him working on film when he was in college. And he was like, he just kind of casually dropped that he was an extra in a movie one time. And I was like, wait, what? Why haven't I ever seen this? And he's like, because it sucked. And I was like, oh. I dug in and I found the name of the movie, finally, and it's debatable whether this is the actual name of the movie.
Yeah.
There's bootleg copies that have gone by different names and things like that. But I dug around on some of the most sketchy websites I've ever been on, kept running into like cyclically not being able to find an actual digitization of the movie or even like a VHS on eBay or anything like that. And then there was one site, there's like weird sites that's like you click on one link and then it opens up another site and then you click on one link and it opens up a whole other site and stuff. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to like get my door beat down by the FBI or something eventually by clicking through these. But I finally found a link and it was like, put in your credit card information to get the download link from Mega Upload or something like that. And I was like, this is not what I want to do today. And I don't want to give them my credit card, but I did anyway. And it happened to be this bootleg copy that somebody had digitized to the VHS. And it happened to be the actual movie. And I think this is not one of the recut ones. I think this is the actual one that went to VHS from Willow Productions, I think. Yeah, so then I put it up on archive.org so that other people wouldn't have to go through the sketch like I did. We're watching this movie specifically because there is a 1-second clip of my dad in this movie. That's it. That's the only reason we watch this movie. He's a guy wearing a suit, coat, and pants in the grocery store that goes up and picks up some bacon to look at it. He's in the movie for literally 1 second.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's pretty good.
I'll have to go back and find it.
And he nails it. Just saying.
Absolutely. The best method acting picking up bacon I've ever seen.
Me and Nicole were extras in a TV show that was filmed here in Oregon. And just as a quick rundown on it, it was the crappiest experience we've ever gone through. It really sucked.
Yeah, you should listen to the interview. It was better than that.
That's good.
Pretty nondescript, but yeah.
I really hope he got to keep that package of bacon that he got to look at. That's what I hope.
So I'm going to be the one that kicks this off. What the freak did we watch?
Honestly, I'm watching this movie and I actually found a handful of positives about it. The problem I have with this movie is I'm watching and I'm like, why did this happen to this family? Like the basis story of like them being cursed by this old Indian. And it's like, oh, because he took these rocks and that's why he got cursed. And that's why his son was killed and why all this crazy stuff happened. That's it. Like I was looking for more of a reason why this happened and I couldn't find it. And I was waiting because he goes into his office and I believe he works for Indian Affairs. I wonder if he's getting cursed by, I don't know, someone he screwed over or someone that, just that didn't like him or whatever. And it never happened.
There's a lot of really cool things about this movie. Like it has a ton of potential. Like I think the cover is freaking sick. Like that poster is really intriguing to me. It looks very similar to a lot of like 80s slasher horror, just kind of B-movie films. I love that shit. So like I was really looking forward to this. And honestly, like it starts off, it's not horrible. Then the pacing starts to kind of like get wobbly. And then I'm like, oh, I like this music. And then I'm like, this just sounds like a ripoff of Friday the 13th. And then it just feels like it's trying so hard. But like the whole time, like I don't want to believe that it just totally sucks. And I was listening to that interview with your dad, Charlie. He's talking about it. And I'm like, he's not very positive about the movie. And I was like wondering, maybe he's just a little jaded because, he saw how the sausage was made. And, maybe this movie is actually a masterpiece and it never got there. I didn't watch it in one sitting. I'll say that. I think it took me like 4. And it's only 90 minutes long, which is hilarious. It has the makings to be something cool. But it just totally shits the bed.
I think the number one thing this movie needed was a better editor. Because like the part that really kept like grinding the glass in my eyes was like there were so many scenes where he went down to the trading post and then it instantly cuts and then it's them talking. Like there's no like transitional period between scenes. It's like these really instant quick cuts. And every time it happens, I'm just like, ugh. And I have to like, okay, hold on. We're in a new scene now.
This movie has so many things wrong with it. And we're going to go over those because we're gonna talk about it.
How can we avoid them?
Yeah.
But I did something really interesting with this movie that I think I'm gonna do moving forward. Is I wrote down everything I hated about this movie, and then I went, "What if this movie was purely intentional? Every single choice wasn't because it was a low budget. It wasn't because they didn't know what they were doing or the script was bad or something like that. What if this movie is a masterpiece in disguise and everyone just rails on it? If we just look at the movie as this perfect, cohesive, intentional movie, what is the movie actually saying? Not what we think it's supposed to be saying. Through its film telling techniques, through its script, through its editing, through its soundtrack, all that kind of stuff. And I actually came up with a really pretty cool movie from that. And I want to talk about that, but let's trash on the movie first, okay?
Let's do it. I'm really excited about this. I would say the number one part of this movie that drove me insane was the mother. Okay.
Oh, Sybil's mom, like
Yes,
the grandma.
My gosh, I was so confused. So there's a
she's
scene.
I think we need to look her up, but is she in Citizen Kane?
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
are you serious?
The ever living crap?
You've got to be kidding me. That's such a no way.
She's like the highest credited person in this movie, and she's my least favorite part. I mean, Al was like incredible, and I don't even know who this guy is.
Dude.
Victor Arnold.
She drove me crazy. There was a couple things about her. No, yeah, the scene with the mother that really drove me nuts. So there's a scene where the wife is looking for her husband who's gone missing. She goes to his office and she's in there talking to like his boss or whatever, and he's like, "No, he hasn't checked in or anything." Then as she's walking out, this lady like grabs her shoulders and like directs her into the elevator. I'm like, "Oh, is this like a really handsy secretary?" And then they get in the elevator and she's like crying to her, and I'm like, "Oh, that's her mother?" Like, what? It was so confusing. There was like no setup as to who she was. And then the other scene, the mom asks her, it's like, "Hey, can you stay here tonight while we get this all figured out?" And her mom was like, "Do I really need to stay over? Like, what? I feel like, give me some scotch, I guess." And I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. You stayed the night like 4 scenes ago. Like, I don't know. It was just really like, it was so ridiculous to me.
The thing that really, really ground my gears about her was that this whole movie was interspersed with some really unforgivable things. And then like a scene later, the mom was like, "Come on." like John like burns their house down. He also digs up their dead son and puts it in their bed. Like just random stuff like this. And I'm like, this is like absolutely unforgivable stuff. And then the mom's like, why don't you just stay by yourself tonight? That crazy guy might walk in again.
So yeah, she drove me absolutely crazy in this movie, and I was like, just if you got rid of her, she'd be better. I actually thought the husband was going to kill her when he picks up that knife from the kitchen, and I was like, oh man, he's finally going to take her out, and then he leaves, and I'm like, okay, a little bummed out there.
Doing that normal thing for this movie, which is imply a lot more violence than actually occurred.
Oh my gosh, no. And then going back to the fire scene, like he's like freaking out in his son's bed and she's trying to get him to come out. She's yelling at him like, "He's dead. You're not him," and all this stuff. The mom shows up and they just like close the door and they're like, "All right, we're just going to go back to bed and everything will be fine." Like the mom came in with this very aura of like, "I solved the problem because I'm here now." And it's like, you didn't solve anything. And then the house, almost burns down completely because of it.
Okay, I want to defend one thing about the movie right now. And there's a few other things, but one thing is I wrote down, this is like the greatest 80s sound effects package in a movie ever. Like I love, it's like when it sees something, or just like the 80s synth. And I was looking at the composer, Harry Manfredini, and he's done basically all like the Jason, Friday the 13th films and a bunch of really bad movies too. But at least they tried. but the whole time with the scary music, it sounded like that, like a ripoff of that. And I was like, I wonder which one came first. And he did Friday the 13th, 1, 2, and 3 before he got to The Returning. So he was just mailing it in. I just think that's funny. Just like, whatever.
Awesome.
I'm never going to get paid for this. This movie's never coming out.
Hey,
Compose this music.
Okay, so there's a scene playing on the movie right now. John goes upstairs. He's like, I forgot my glasses in a really awkward way. And you're like, is he possessed to go get his glasses? Then he opens up the bedroom and then he looks and there's pictures on the bed and he hangs them up. And then he comes downstairs and says something really awkward like, you forgot to hang up the pictures in Jason's room. And she's like, what? I just want to say that I figured out that what's going on is poltergeist stuff. They fell off the wall because of possession. All right. I want to clarify this one point because this took me a long time to figure out why this mattered at all.
There's a lot of those scenes that would be good if we can get an explanation of why it was there, by the way. But yeah, just one more little note on the mom. She answers the phone at John's house, and I'm like, why is she picking up the phone? And she answers it and talks to them as if she's the owner. It was just like I said, she's so strange.
Many weird, janky choices. So I did a little deep dive on Joel Bender. And I'm trying to figure out, I forget what's the movie we watched? And we found out that the director did a bunch of music videos. And then it all kind of made sense. What movie was that? Do you know what I'm talking about? If you enjoy watching our show on Spotify or YouTube and you want to be more involved, we encourage you to please come check out our Patreon community. Not only does our Patreon community get every episode you see on YouTube early, fully uncut, uncensored, and ad-free, but we're also doing Patreon-exclusive episodes, as well as Q&As, video clips, and access to our entire film catalog. It's a lot of fun and a nice way to say thanks for the cost of a cup of coffee every month. Now, back to the show. Was it Michael Bay?
Yeah, we figured out he did a lot of commercials and stuff like that, and that's why we watched Armageddon and we're like, yeah, we got told it was really good and we just believed it.
I think I've got Joel Bender's shtick. So The Returning is his first film, and I'm looking at all of his other films, and maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much, but I just want to run these by you. So you said it earlier, but The Returning, to me, also felt like a little bit of a ripoff of Poltergeist mixed with a little bit of elements from The Shining. So I'm looking at his other films with the help of a lot of Google searching and reviews and stuff. Here's what I come up with his other films. So he has another film called The Immortalizer. It's a straight ripoff of The Reanimator. Then he has a movie called Gas Pump Girls, which is a ripoff of Car Wash and American Graffiti. Another film, Rich Girl, is a complete... Look at the cover of Rich Girl. It's a complete ripoff of Pretty Women and Dirty Dancing. He has Midnight Kiss, which is a ripoff of Lost Boys and Basic Instinct. I won't go on, but he just rips everything off. And I feel like when you're doing that, he's not focusing on being original. He's just trying to copy ideas. This movie just meanders. It doesn't know what it is. And then you mix that with almost all the other people on the crew, and it's just a lot of inexperienced, just patchwork. It's just the whole movie. I don't know about you, but it felt like a giant montage. You didn't travel through the story. It was just kind of scene after scene after scene. And it's kind of you guys are talking about things you remember. I don't remember this movie. It's really hard to remember this movie.
There's this whole genre, and this is me talking about this super academically because I've seen literally none of these. But this is just from my research trying to make this movie coherent. So there's this whole genre of movies from this time period called exploitation horror films. Mm-hmm. And there's, for example, gore exploitation. The whole point is that they just lean super heavy into gore to get an audience of people that like gore. Sexploitation, same concept. Really erotic, sexy horror films to pull in that audience just to make some money. Then you get funnier ones like ninja-sploitation. And the whole point is just cash on the ninja craze, right? So Ninja Turtles is a good example of this from this time period. And then you've got all the random ones that's just you know, the crazy B-budget movies filmed out in the desert, and you're like, why are there ninjas in the desert?
Yeah.
This movie is an Indian-Sploitation movie. Okay. the whole point is to ride the wave of like possession and Native American cultural appropriation for a quick buck, often kind of wrapped in this sort of vague lesson about sort of cultural appropriation, sort of. But it's not heavy-handed because that would actually push people away. Except that this movie kind of does lean into that lesson because it never becomes anything overly dramatic or gory or something to actually make you interested in the movie. It's just kind of like, yeah, this is probably the most honest Indian-Sploitation movie out there. But that kind of also makes it not very fun to watch.
Yeah. So I literally wrote down in my notes, I bet they just ran into this Indian guy and was like, I bet we can make a movie about this guy. He looks creepy enough. And I like to imagine that the way they met him was they almost ran him over with their car, just like in the movie, which actually got me a little, that was a small little jump scare for me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The most Native American person I've ever seen in my life.
That was pretty incredible.
Okay, question about his character. When he appears, he kind of flashes in the mirror and she turns around and he's gone. But why does he have a giant hole in his chest? Is that ever explained?
Did that happen?
Did that happen?
that.
Maybe that might have been a nightmare I had after I watched this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I want to go take a look now because I got a nice jump scare out of that one. But I don't remember anything other than the fact that he wasn't wearing a shirt.
Yeah, he had a big old hole in his chest. And I was like, did I miss something? Because I don't remember anything about this.
I was surprised to see that he was alive. I thought he was the one that was possessing them. But apparently there's actually a story about who's possessing who.
Yeah.
Which only showed up within the last 15 minutes of the movie, I want to be clear.
It was just funny because like that ending fight scene where he shows up at the guy who ran over his kid, he shows up at his apartment and they're like grappling with each other while he's got a knife, keeps going back and forth between showing him and showing this Native American person who's like possessed him or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I feel like they're trying to tell me something. Like I understand what's happening, that it's almost like he's recreating this moment that happened to this other person, but I still don't know what happened to the other person. Did he just kill him just to kill him? Like, I was really confused about like what the actual storyline was.
You and me both.
All right. Are you guys ready to take a look at this movie as if it was good?
It was good. Let's see. I mean, just real quick, just to keep on that thread, I'm assuming what happened was that the spirit of the Native American who took over the father's body, his son was killed by this other guy. And I think it's just recreating the same event basically again for whatever reason. I don't know if it's like it's like a restless spirit that can't move on. So it has to recreate this event again to like get over his grief or something like that. Like that's kind of what I was kind of getting towards, but I'm still like not 100% sure if that's what I was shooting for.
Yeah. So I think that's as close as I've gotten to. I also want to say that there's a distinction between. Oh, here's the scene with my dad.
Oh,
there he is.
No way.
Look at that bacon.
Awesome. Nailed it, dude.
Serious bacon grabbing right there.
That's awesome.
Okay, so there's a distinction between like when John is actually possessed and when he's just being haunted. And that's the same goes with Al. I was trying to figure out like why is Al. So I'm going to add a little bit of context. We haven't actually talked about like the story in this very, very well or very much yet. So we've got John Ophir and his wife Sybil and their son Jason. They're the three main, very Salt Lake City family. Then you've got this very rugged, in a Salt Lake sort of way, Al, who's a truck driver. And for some reason, he also gets haunted by these Native American spirits. It's never explained why, but all the way up to the point where Al accidentally runs into Jason, the 10-year-old boy, and kills him. All the way up to that point, it's just they're being haunted by these Native American spirits because they hold on to these geodes that have the two like 1,000-year-old spirits trapped in them for some reason that's not explained. Everything post the truck hitting him, John starts going more and more crazy because his son died, and then he becomes physically possessed by the spirit of the Native American spirit guy. And then he starts doing like really crazy stuff at night and really crazy stuff during the day, very uncomfortable in both situations, for different reasons. So during the day, he starts acting like him and thinks that he's Jason, and he like partway like rapes his own mother and like just random stuff like this. It's super, super awkward. And the wife is like way too forgiving, I think, of his actions. He goes in and out of like insane asylums and hospitals multiple times. And then Al, who killed Jason, kind of is dealing with his grief, and he's not having a good time of life, and also sort of gets possessed by a similar but different Native American spirit, but it's not as dramatic of an effect on him for some reason, though we're not entirely sure why. It all culminates with John going crazy enough that he's like slasher flick walking around with a knife to go kill Al. But you're like, is he killing him because he killed his son, or is he killing him because he's possessed by a Native American spirit? You're not entirely sure. It all ends in a climactic fight, which was actually the best part of the whole movie. There's this ancient battle occurring between the two Native American spirits on Buffalo Plains, as we learned, and John and Al inside Al's dirty little apartment. They cut back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and eventually Sybil, John's wife, goes and talks to the Native American spirit or Native American medicine man who is alive, but for some reason keeps showing up to them like a ghost or something like that in jump scare ways, and gets him to do medicine man stuff and free the evil spirits, quote unquote evil spirits. We'll get to that, from these two geodes in the middle of a fire. There's some special effects, which actually were pretty decent special effects.
Blood coming out of the rock, pretty good.
And
pretty cool.
big glowing orb and stuff like that. I was like, how did they film that? John is no longer possessed, and he is like, oh, dang, sorry for trying to kill you, Al. And Al's like, it's okay, I understand. And then he goes home, and he's like, Sybil, I'm sorry. And she's like, I saw it all. It's okay. And then it's all fine.
Everything's better.
The fact that he dug up his dead son's body and put it in her bed,
Damn.
like a severed horse head, was just totally forgiven. So This movie has plot holes either way. But anyway, that is the story.
I think the tagline of this movie needs to be "The Returning." It's never explained. I think that's the most popular phrase you said during that. I do appreciate the quick summary of that. No, I'll say this. Yeah, there are positives in this movie, and I'm excited to hear your version of a really good movie of this. But I think you hit some really good ones in there, honestly. Like the father digging up his son's body. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Me neither.
That was a new thing for me.
This movie actually did a really good job of the grief of losing a child, the possession of the father, and just the crazy acts he was doing. Like everything he was doing, I'm believing this, and I am uncomfortable. And the movie accomplished that. I wasn't watching this and being like, oh, that looks so fake. This movie actually made me uncomfortable and sold it in terms of some things in this film.
And I have nothing to add except that I don't remember him digging his son up at all. I don't remember that.
Really? That was honestly, that was like a shocking moment for me. I was just like, really? Oh, I can't believe it went that far.
Maybe I dozed off at that one scene. I don't remember that.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. The glitchy, quick cut disorientation of all of the editing, that's on purpose. And that's basically the catalyst for everything working for what I'm going to say. All right?
Okay.
So here's my take. A lot of this, just bear with me.
I put a quarter in the ride. I'm on it.
My take is that all of the daytime stuff is John grief, really terrible way. And it's kind of like you have night and horror films go hand in hand, but all the stuff with Jason is really uncomfortable because it's just pervasive. You can't deny the fact that his son died. His son did get hit by a truck and died, and he's dealing with severe severe grief. He's part of the Indian Affairs, but he doesn't actually care about his job other than doing it. But Jason definitely was super into, as he called them, and I was like, good job. I kind of feel like the whole story with the Native Americans, they're not really maligned, right? They're not evil. We're ignoring their purpose. We're ignoring them as human beings. We're the one that's raiding their sacred grounds, all kind of stuff. So there's your lesson from the the cultural appropriation kind of lesson. Don't mess with stuff that you don't know about, with stuff that you shouldn't be with. Especially if you're in a vulnerable state, because you're going to get possessed and be swept up with something that you weren't meant to be part of in the first place. Because it's almost like cyclical and ritualistic, which you can kind of look at as a lens through, like, our human lives are like that. History has been like that. We forget and we redo things that we've lost across times. I'm really stretching with a lot of these, but once again, it's making the movie more interesting to me. The fragmented cuts, also with you, Harrison, that the fragmented cuts were really bad. There's a handful of scenes where it's like, they just started the scene and they don't have any context as to what was being said before or after that. They just kind of like, all right, cut. Thank you, officers. And then the cops leave the house and then it cuts again. And you're like, okay, there's cops here. What are the cops here for? What are they doing? And
Yeah.
Or like, there's that police officer that's kind of like this detective, and he just kind of shows up every once in a while and he kind of like looks at stuff, but he doesn't actually do anything in the movie. And he just kind of like gets spliced into the movie and then disappears for like 10 minutes, and then he's spliced in for another scene, and then like, okay. Yeah, the editing for this movie was off the chain bad, but my case is, what if the glitchy editing represents John's continually spiraling madness and messiness of his life? The movie's edited poorly so that you feel disoriented, like John is disoriented.
You know what, Scott? Other than the director, I don't think anyone has thought about this movie as much as you have. Props for that. I understand the whole bad editing can equal his descent into madness. If I really, really apply it, I can see it. I don't think that's what he was shooting for, but I get where you're going.
I'm going to stretch even further. I'm going to say that this movie's overall restraint and focus on the atmosphere is not because it was a boring script and they didn't know how to catch the Indian-Sploitation very well. I'm going to say that it's because genuine mysticism and grief demands subtlety.
Wow.
I'm going to say that real horror is spiritual emptiness, cultural blindness, and detachment, not monsters.
Deep, man.
That's awesome. I don't buy it at all, but I love it. Like, if this was Joel Bender's like 13th film, I'd be like, maybe Scott's right. Because like, it can't be that bad on accident, could it?
Now, this last one, John is such a nothing burger. He has no heart or soul. And I wrote that down. I was like, he's so boring. Like, this guy has nothing to his wife is more interesting than him, and she's not that interesting. But my thought was, well, what if his emotional arc that he needed to go through is that he was detached and disinterested and connected to his son, but very detached in that process. And he was also detached from the true like cultural work that he should have been doing. He was just sitting there going through his ledgers and tapping his pen on his desk in the office, but he didn't care about anything truly. All very intellectual, classically trained, like I said, and stuff, but he had no heart. And it took the deep spiritual, aggressive lessons from the people that knew better to force heart into his life, so that him and his wife could live better. And that just was a harsh lesson that his son needed to die in the process for him to actually learn that lesson.
Oh, Scott, you don't need to try that hard. No, I highly appreciate it. Look, I'm going to put this out there. John is boring as hell. He has no personality. I don't care for him. But I think he's the only actor in this whole movie that actually gave a damn and put in a really good performance. I think he pulled it off very well.
So he is actually the producer of this movie. It's his movie.
Really?
He's not the director, but he is the one that's in charge of Willow Productions. He's the CEO of Willow Productions. This was his movie for some reason. And that scene where he slides down the stairs like a little boy.
Yeah.
I was like, that old man's butt
so
has got to
weird.
hurt.
Yeah, that was a really weird moment. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, my L7 hurt just watching him do that.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is, I think that this is a really cool lens that we could kind of apply to things. Like, if you just assume that they actually did intend to make the movie the way it was, and instead of assuming what it was supposed to be, like, you could really start to, I don't know, sophistry all sorts of cool lessons into a movie like this. And to be honest, it made me appreciate this movie more after I watched it and tried to make sense of it. And I went, okay, you know, if I were to make this movie, I would have done it completely different. But if I kept the core themes and I kept all of those lessons, those deep lessons, and just did it better, that's probably a movie worth watching, honestly.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, the makings are all there. It just kind of got like overcooked or undercooked in the oven. I don't know. Like, I'm assuming most of its issues came down to running out of money. And that's why things feel so patched and quick and herky jerky and like unfulfilled. And like, honestly, we were talking about where the truck driver, he accidentally kills the kid. And then it fades into that scene where the main character sees the ambulance. And then he's like following down the same road. And then he turns down his road to go home and he keeps seeing the ambulances. I was like, this is pretty awesome. Like, or not awesome. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then going into when he's standing over the edge, kind of looking down at the casket. But like everything surrounding that. And then we haven't talked about the ending too much, but there's parts of that I thought was really cool too. And then the bleeding rock and all that. But what did your dad say? Does he say anything about like the marketing for the film or why it never got out?
Yeah, so what my dad said about it is that
if you enjoy watching our show on Spotify or YouTube and you want to be more involved, we encourage you to please come check out our Patreon community. Not only does our Patreon community get every episode you see on YouTube early, fully uncut, uncensored, and ad-free, but we're also doing Patreon exclusive episodes, as well as Q&As, video clips, and access to our entire film catalog. It's a lot of fun and a nice way to say thanks for the cost of a cup of coffee every month. Now, back to the show.
obviously it was a low-budget movie, but he only ever saw one poster for it in Provo. He never saw a VHS of it or anything, apparently. And I wasn't able to corroborate this in my research about the movie, but that's not to say it's not true. There's just so little information about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's title, The Returning, was like in disputes over another movie called The Returning at the same time frame or something. And so it kind of got like caught up in legal battles. So some of the bootleg copies are called The Witch Doctor, to like get around the confusion between the two similarly titled films or something like that. Genuinely, it's a regional Indian-Sploitation film because it got made and then never made it anywhere. It just stayed in the studio, apparently. Like,
that's crazy. I wonder where that The Returning poster is nowadays.
Yeah, I kind of want it, right?
That'd be
That'd be pretty cool to have it framed up. Be pretty sweet.
My favorite thing about the movie.
Even though, like, yeah, I mean, there are a couple, like, Harrison, what are your favorite scenes in this movie? Like some of the things that just made you go like, dang, that was actually pretty rad.
I actually have a couple. The moment that he's standing over the grave and he takes a step towards it, almost like he's going to jump in. I was like, that's a cool little subtle moment. I liked the one you mentioned, Ren, him like driving home, this little increase of tension and worry. I thought that they pulled that one off very well.
I love when the psychedelics kick in when they're around the fire and like the Native Americans are like back to back and then they turn to the left and they're looking at you. I thought that was pretty sweet.
The scene, we've already mentioned it, but the scene where he digs up his son and puts him in the bed. Honestly, I was like, it was just so shocking and something I haven't seen before that I was like, I'm impressed they came up with that, and I thought they pulled it off very, very well.
There was one camera shot towards the beginning of the movie when he brings the lantern back to the trading post. He sets it on the desk and the camera is looking through the glass of the lantern and it's all distorted. That one was a pretty solid shot, just cinematography wise. There weren't a ton of like good cinematography shots, but there was like 3 that I can think of. There's that one. There's also the close-up shots of the little spinning clock. Those were pretty, like, I don't know, they made me uncomfortable. So I think they worked. And there's also a few tilted shots that kind of make the scene feel a little more unhinged, but not very many. So yeah, cinematography wasn't top notch, but there were a couple that were pretty good.
Okay, Ren, the all important question, was the nudity necessary? Because when that scene came on, oh, this is them being edgy.
Okay, hold on. We need the necessary nudity theme song. Was it necessary? Booby, booby, boob. Did you see a butt? Was it necessary?
This is the most inexcusable, unnecessary nudity I've ever seen in any film that we've covered thus far. And that includes Brad Pitt's ass. All right? It was horrible.
Oh my gosh, Ren.
It was lazy. It was dumb, and it wasn't even that great to look at. So, yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who she was and why she was there.
I have no idea who she was.
She was a prostitute or a sex worker.
Are you sure though?
Yeah.
No,
see, it could have been like his sister or like his cousin's friend.
No, she was a sex worker because she went in, and when she came out, she was like, "Hey,
in Utah, come on."
And she goes through his wallet and is like, "This is all you have?" And I'm like, "Girl, you gotta get it up front. Like, you can't not after."
I thought it was really funny how he opens the door with the Playboy in his hand. I was like, that's the most 1983 thing about this movie for sure. I feel like that
100%.
That doesn't happen anymore. And then I was almost curious. I don't know, like, why is this movie called The Returning? And I think it's because when he returns the Playboy, he ends up saving him from being stabbed.
I think you're right.
What a bro. What a bro right there.
Except not all the pages turn anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of
Explain it, Ren. Explain that. I don't understand.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Look at
Well, I thought that scene where his like landlord comes in and is like, "Hey, can I borrow your Playboy?" I just like he needs to explain to Al why he wants to borrow his Playboy, and Al needs to explain that he wants it back.
Yeah.
Like,
you better bring it back.
I was like, "This is weird."
It's just like it's one of those things. Like, okay, is this a movie thing or did this happen like all the time?
We all remember what life was like before the internet, and I'm telling you, that happened more often back then. That's like gold.
I'm just curious if the whole apartment complex they can only afford one Playboy.
Yeah,
he's just the one who upfronts the cost and has it first, and then they to everybody.
I'm sad that no one's gonna watch this or listen to this episode because no one's ever seen it. Because this movie needs, I don't know, more people need to return to this.
Yeah,
I think this movie is good because
I think this movie is quote unquote good enough to recommend to people who like watching bad movies. That's what I'll say.
Totally.
Yeah. This is definitely like mid-tier mystery science theater quality.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not even the worst.
Well, I'm on Letterboxd, and there's one person who gave it a 3.5-star rating.
Ooh.
And that's the highest rating that it received from anyone. So, but
What's the review?
1 out of 82. You know, it's not bad.
Okay.
It's just a rating. I don't think they had any thoughts on it.
Give me the highest review.
Okay. This thing affects an outstanding sense of dread, especially during the first third. Joel Bender structures the film essentially as one long montage, which adds to the deliberately disorienting effect. On the other hand, once the story itself starts to unravel, it becomes increasingly difficult to sustain interest. Oliver Wood would soon go on to become major DP, shooting much of Miami Vice, and his mastery of intricate lighting is well in evidence here. See, he's got some positive things to say about it.
You know,
there you go.
I think I gotta agree with that. The lighting in this film was not bad. There
Yeah.
were a handful of shots where like they would go into the house at night and stuff, where they'd open up a door and there was like really dramatic latticed lighting scattered across the room, stuff like that, or opening up the garage door and the shadow showing off the broken bike hanging on the wall, stuff like that. Like there was some decent cinematography and lighting every once in a while.
Let's figure this out. So, the best thing going for this movie, in my opinion, is the cinematography. I don't think that's the issue here. It's like the dialogue, or is it just, I think it's what you said. I think it's the editing is like the most inexcusably bad part.
No, I think it 100% is the editing. It makes it too jarring to really fully comprehend what's going on in some scenes. And the pacing of the movie just feels so off to a point that you're just like irritated at the movie itself while you're watching it. I think writing has really strong moments, but kind of like what I said when I gave you my first reaction, you're kind of watching and you're just like, why is this even happening? Like I don't need movies to silver spoon feed me the reason behind everything. The music was good. We talked about the lighting being really good. And yeah, there's some strong scenes, including, the grief of losing a child and things like that. But no, I think the editing is the number one problem.
I'm going to say two things. The first is that this movie feels like they just implied so much. Oh, wait. So the cops are involved? Okay, so they implied that the cops are involved, but I'm not entirely sure to what degree because he's still free. He's not in jail for what he's doing. And, he went to the school and like grabbed a kid and punched a couple teachers. So, they implied that that's bad. He kind of like caught their house on fire and they implied that, the house didn't burn down somehow. The jarring editing really made me not know what was going on with the passage of time.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning, it was like he was at work and then there was suddenly a family in a station wagon. And it wasn't until like 30 minutes in that I was like, oh, those are the same people,
Yeah.
And I had a hard time discerning who the main characters were, it was like, and I read on the cover for the movie that there was like two people possessed. And so I was like, wait, is the guy at the office one of the guys? And then one of the guys that like goes out into the field, that's like the other guy that's possessed. And it wasn't until like halfway through the movie that Al gets introduced. And then he wasn't really possessed throughout the movie at all. And so I was like, well, is he the one they're talking about? Also knowing that it was filmed in Salt Lake and all the sacred ground stuff was filmed in Moab, that's like a multi-hour drive, like I think like a 6-hour drive or something. And so like that threw me off too. And I don't know. It was kind of weird.
The other thing that kind of irritated me was you're watching it. So there's a scene where they go camping and then they find the rocks. Then there's this like just stuff kind of happens in between. And then they go on another camping trip where they go out and once again, nothing really happens, but he ends up, that's the scene where he brings the lamp back to the trading post. And I guess that's what occurs or something. I was watching, I was like, you could have just combined these two things and had it be the same camping trip, all in one shot. It felt like the movie wasn't like, this sounds weird to say, but I feel like it wasn't like respecting my time as an audience. You could have cleaned this up and made it just a little bit more efficient so the story isn't so scattered. The other thing that's really bad about this movie is the voiceover. Like, there's yeah. Like the one that really gets me is they're in the school and this guy's pushing a projector down the hallway and he walks up to these two ladies and they turn around and they, hi Bob, and he goes, hi Alice, hi Mary. 100% of voiceover, and honestly, like the first half of the movie is like all voiceover. So I don't know what happened at the beginning of it, if they just like had really crappy audio through it, but I feel like it got slightly better near the end of the film. But
well, you're not going to rewatch it like 4 times to prove that.
100%. My last note that I have about the mom, she has 2 scenes where I'm like, oh, she doesn't care at all. The actress just does not care. The first one is when she's trying to put the fire out and she has that fire extinguisher and she's just like shooting the fire extinguisher like way above the fire. And, oh my God, this is happening. Call the police. And then the very ending scene she's sitting down, and the Native American medicine man's like doing the chants and breaking the curse or whatever. And I feel like she's just sitting there and she has this just blank look at her face. And she's like, I guess, okay, hopefully this works. Oh, this is taking a while. Okay.
Yeah.
I did like the scene where she goes in to pick up the rocks and she like for some reason gets this gnarly bloody nose and just like bathes the rocks in blood with her nose.
Yes.
I was like, well, that's a pretty gnarly shot.
That part's sick.
All right, Red, you want to wrap us up? I don't think there's much more to say about this movie.
There is nothing left to say about this movie, you guys.
I think that we have exhausted what can be said of this movie. This is the definitive resource about this movie. And if
That's
anyone
true.
wants to know about this movie, if they ever search for this movie ever again, Cinema Slime will be the top Google search.
The top.
That's true.
It's our most important episode. We'll go that far.
It's up there. Strangely enough, like I would recommend people watch this. I don't really know why, but maybe just to follow along with us and laugh about this movie. Just have a good attitude when you push play, which you can click down below in the show notes. So my final thoughts on this. Actually, I got to pick a slimy scene. I'm gonna pick the bleeding rocks because I've never seen that before. I thought that was original, like one of the few original things in this movie.
Not to diminish what you said, but it kind of reminded me of the TV movie version of It, where she's holding the picture and it starts to bleed, and that really disturbed me as a kid. So
Yeah.
that's the closest thing that I've seen.
Well, this came out a few years before the TV version of It, so the poster is the coolest thing about this movie. It's enough to pull you in to watch it. You know, the beginning sequences, I didn't mind. I was really into it in the beginning. The music I thought was great. There's even some scenes where there's like kind of like classical music playing and it kind of like flows okay. And then the direction gets lost and it just shits all over itself. But yeah, this is a big, salty nothing burger, but it has a ton of potential. And maybe if they re-release this in like 4K, it might feel maybe the rating would go up. But yeah, we need a recut, like a smooth transitions. There's potential here for sure. I'm gonna give this movie a solid 2 because I don't want to totally disregard the intent and like the excitement that it probably was to be directing your first film. Joel Bender didn't know he didn't know, and that's part of directing a film for the first time. So don't totally want to crap all over it. And there's some really good ideas, but 2 stars, no shame in my game.
Okay, well, here, I'll take over then. So my slimy scene, I think I'm going to go with the ambulance following. I think they actually pulled that off pretty well.
That's the right answer.
Just put some good dread into you as you're watching it. And then, I mean, even the acting when he showed up and found his dead son was pretty powerful. So I'm going to give that as my slimy scene. In terms of my rating, I'm going to give it a 1.5. Mainly the big positives in this, I think, are John, that actor's acting. He held the whole movie together for me. I don't know. What was the other positive thing I was going to say about this movie? No, I think it's mainly just John's acting. I think he kept it all together. Made it at least a movie that I watched and I didn't go, oh, I didn't finish this movie and go, well, that was a waste of time. But yeah, 1.5 for me.
Right on. Yeah, my slimy scene is the dead boy in the, because that's a new one. I've never seen that before, and it's been done, so it can't be done again without being derivative. I'm also gonna give it a 1.5. I was gonna give it a 1, but you know it is better than Monos: The Hands of Fate, and I didn't actually hate watching this movie, and then pretending the movie was good and coming up with depth made me like the movie more. Also, my dad's in it, so that's fun.
Yeah.
I think I gave it a 0.5-star rating more because of that sick wood panel car that they drive. If that car is in like pristine condition, I would drive that thing today, especially here in Portland. Like that car is kind of cool.
You'd be the talk of the town. Everybody would love that.
How come station wagons went out of style, man?
I mean,
I know why, but it's like cool because it's so ugly. Just gotta own it.
There you go.
I need both of your takes. Would you say that this movie is so bad that it kind of cycles around to being slightly better because it's so bad?
Man,
does it fall into that category?
If this is your thing, if you like movies like this, I think it kind of blends in with some other like bad 80s movies that I've already seen. It's not that far off. I just think the transitions is its biggest downfall, or like the pacing.
See, this is a different kind of bad movie to me. I think Ren really nailed it when he was talking about it having a lot of potential, and you could see it there. And you kind of saw it peeking through the movie throughout it, but it just really wrapped it up nicely. When I think of a bad movie that cycles around to being good, it's usually something that's ridiculous. Like you're watching and you're like, what were they thinking? What are they doing? Like, this is insane. Like Manos, the Hands of Fate is a great example of that, where like the scene in that movie when all the women in the white dresses are just wrestling on the ground for whatever reason. That's the scene I'm watching. I'm like, who thought this was the right thing to do? It's movies like that cycle around to being good to me.
You heard it here, folks. The definitive resource on the returning
/ Witch Doctor. Well, let's transition. We got some categories for the next batch of films that we're going to pick for the month of January, February, March.
Keep going, you'll eventually hit it.
Right. Yeah. I'm excited about this. This is always a fun time. I got some kind of silly categories that I'm excited to talk about.
Can I just say really quick? I don't think that there's a such thing as a bad category, because I picked a bad category. I picked a bad category to watch this freaking movie, and we have some absolute bangers that came up in this.
Yeah,
it's masterpieces like Joel Bender's The Returning up against Spartacus, Dunkirk, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I think that you guys nailed it. So it's always exciting to see like what direction are we going to have to go left field to like find movies that we're going to love talking about. And I don't know, it's always exciting.
I hate how I'll think of great categories for a show, and then if I don't write them down when it's time to pick one, I'm like, oh, I don't have any categories in mind. I'm screwed.
I'm going to go through my two categories. I'm going to put it in the pool. So my first one is going to be colors. I'm specifically going to put one restriction on it, is the title of the movie has to have a color in the title. I'm going to put one extra little subcategory within that one, just in case we can't find a lot of good ones that we want to watch. I'll also accept movies that are either like focused on a color, or maybe it's filmed with a certain color palette.
Harry, what are you doing? Harry, what are you doing? Stop putting caveats on this thing.
Yeah.
No,
there's
movies.
So many movies with colors in it.
Okay, well, the only reason I'm putting it out there is because I want to put Sin City on a list, and that one fits this category, but it doesn't have a color in the title. So
Sin is a color.
There you go.
It's black and white with a red tie.
My second category is the title of the movie has to have 5 letters in it or more. Nothing under.
5 words or 5 letters?
Has to have 5 words at least.
Okay. That sounds hard and fun.
Yeah. So, and bonus points if you can go above that, because I was actually going through movies. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of 2-word movies. And I was like, oh wait, there's a bunch of 3 I can think of. And once I hit like 4 or 5, I'm like, this is getting a little harder.
My first category is under 90 minutes. It is what it is. It has to be under 90 minutes long. There's a lot of great options, and it eliminates a lot of options. So it'll narrow things down.
Ren, did this week like break you because we're watching like Spartacus and Dunkirk?
I'm embracing it. My second category is Forgive Me, Lord, for I have synthed. And the movie soundtrack has to have synth music in it.
Oh, gosh.
That's pretty rad. So anything John Carpenter.
Yep.
Blade
Also,
Runner. Does Interstellar 5555 count? It's not quite synth, but it is electronic.
Isn't that's just a music video, right?
What? No,
it doesn't matter.
I think it's a deep anime.
Okay.
It's an animation.
It counts. Absolutely.
And it might be, oh yeah, it's under 90 minutes too, so I can put it on either.
I mean, night vision is, night vision qualifies it.
Nice. Too long. Yeah, okay. So my 2 this time around is, the first one is Wife's Picks.
This is awesome.
Eventually we'll get this one picked. Eventually. They just slowly come around to being excited about putting her 5 in. So basically you just turn it over to your wife and they have to pick 5.
But I like that our wives don't listen to our show.
Yes, it's even better.
What was it? I told Nicole about this, I was like, yeah, Scott's got wife picks as one of his categories. And she was like, oh, if you guys get that one, you should have your mom be the fourth movie. I was like, that's not a bad idea, actually.
The second category is playing God. There's just, honestly, this is also a selfish category. There's a handful of movies that I've really wanted to get picked, and they just keep not being able to fit into different categories. And so I kind of looked at them all and went, what do they all have in common? And somebody or something or some corporation or person or something absolutely plays God and does unethical things, and it makes for a pretty solid dramatic movie.
What's funny is we spend all that time explaining each category, but Deep Dive is going to get picked. So.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We
That
just
is a
wasted our
category
time.
that is
Dang,
always
I
in
forgot
our
about
themes.
Deep Dive.
I was actually going to pick someone to do a deep dive on for my original two, but I came up with those two and I thought they were more fun. Just if
Nice.
anyone's joining us, the other thing is we always throw in the category of deep dive into our random pick of themes. And if we land on that, each of us are going to come up with two, either like actors, directors, something like that. And we're going to deep dive on their work and explore what makes them them. Okay. You guys ready? The whole month of March is in my hand right now.
Oh my God. The suspense is killing me.
We landed on colors. That's going to be our theme for
Nice.
for March.
All right. I'm down with that.
I'm excited for
I've
this
got a
one.
few in
I
mind.
think
I'm
it's going to be
excited, but now I have to close my Google search tab. I was looking for movies with really long titles.
fun. Scott's so bummed out.
Originally, you said 6+ words in the title, and I was like, "What? How does that?" But yeah, five
Yeah.
is more doable. But yeah,
No, honestly, I was trying to figure that out. I was like, I feel like 6 is a lot. Why is the jump from 5 to 6 so huge? But it really was in my head.
awesome. All right, so just to fill everyone else in, we're gonna come back next episode with our lists, randomly select 4 from there, and we're off to the races. Awesome episode. It was really fun to deep dive into this fever dream of a film. This is a weird one.
I'm glad that we broke into doing a crappy movie. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we've done like mediocre movies or like not really agreed on what was a good movie, stuff like that. But we've all been kind of like trying to impress each other with the movies. And this is the first time that we were like, you know what, let's just do a crappy movie. So
Well,
it
actually,
was kind of
this
fun
is
to talk about.
This is the second one because the first one was Safety Not Guaranteed. So sorry,
Wait.
I don't mean to correct you, but
Wait, which
yeah.
movie was that?
I don't know. Never mind. I'm high. I'm just
But the
talking.
thing is, we thought Safety Not Guaranteed was going to be good. We knew The Returning wasn't going to be good.
No, Harrison,
oh.
you thought Safety Not Guaranteed was going to be good.
It's so true. I had such high hopes. What a crash and burn for me. Oof, man.
Yeah, you're now
Fuck the red
deleted.
user.
You're deleted with the square brackets.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, make your list. Talk to you guys soon, and we'll be back for next week's episode, which we're covering the film Dunkirk, and I am freaking hyped to watch this.
It's going to be good.
Peace.
And also, if anyone wants to listen to the Charlie Shepherd interview that him and his dad sat down and talked about his experience behind the scenes of The Returning, really interesting. And then he goes off onto other tangents and talks about his experience in that industry, and is really interesting. Thank you. Adios. Peace out. That's a wrap on another episode of Cinema Slime. Be sure to watch the next film before next Wednesday. We had a blast and hope you enjoyed it. This episode was a production by your hosts, Harrison Jensen, Ren Jensen, and Scott Shepherd. This is a group effort, and seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening and watching us, however you found us. We really appreciate it. Help us grow by leaving a comment, a 5-star review, subscribe, and share an episode with another cinema lover. Also, let's connect. Find us on Discord and Letterboxd for film discussions, reviews, and recommendations. Also, check us out on social media. We're always posting clips, film rabbit holes we're going down, and interesting stuff. And you can also show your support by using Buy Me a Coffee, and we'll give you a shout out if you'd like. All links can be found in the episode notes. Goodbye.